More movement tonight to get your second stimulus check as protesters take their fight to Mitch McConnell's office. Hey, good evening, everybody. This is LALATE. Hope you're great and safe. We saw this coming. We knew it was coming. And finally, your second stimulus check is front burner as protests have now hit Mitch McConnell's office. This is Evenings LALATE, our evening program. That's 1 hour of programming every night at 6:45. Starts with a check and then goes to EIDL. Big news and great news as the pressure is heating up late today as the blame game continues in asserting to get you your second stimulus check. Let me first detail where everyone is and dispel the rumors and the false reporting. First, everyone's back at home among senators and congressional leaders. Incorrect. They're all still in D.C. Second, they're on recess and not going to do anything till September. Also incorrect. They're all on the Senate floor. Third, there's a vote on the second stimulus check in the fall in September. Also untrue. They're trying to get it done right this week. Fourth, they can't get anything done until September. Absolutely also untrue. The way we currently are in the second stimulus check and second stimulus package negotiations are there's an agreement upon the check. That's really great news. $1,200 check to land in your account in August. But the package, a big box, includes a lot of stuff in there, including the check, and that's being stranglehold by negotiations between four people. A lot of people think that the negotiations are done, gone, and not resuming until September. Totally false reporting. But where are they? What are they doing? And what's happening with those protests? So this is more juicy. As I said earlier, a plate of biscuits. That was the wrong expression. I meant a basket of fries and some fried chicken, but let me get right to it. Your second stimulus check is agreed upon. You're getting a second stimulus check. It's $1,200 coming to all individuals, whether you're an adult dependent, minor dependent, single individual. If you're a married couple, it's a double check, a $2,400 check. If you're a married couple with 3 children, congrats. That would be $1,200 times 5. The most on a single tax return, when we including the dependents, is up to 5 people. It would land in your bank account very quickly. That's also confirmed. So the Republicans and the Democrats have agreed to the check amount, $1,200. They've agreed to the routing time, which this channel has been reporting is very fast. It's not like the first stimulus check. Everything is different. First, the dependent issue is gone for the first stimulus check. Adult dependents would get a second stimulus check. Second, the amount of the adult dependent second stimulus check is likely to be a full check, which is what the Democrats proposed, $1,200. Fourth, child support is likely not to be taken out of the check. That's what the Democrats propose. Fifth, back taxes, property, state and federal taxes would not be taken out of the second stimulus check. Next, you would get the check in the manner in which you receive your electronic benefits if you're on SSDI, SSI, Social Security, and railroad benefits. And this would be incredibly fast. Gone is that long wait time. Oh my goodness, we're just waiting forever to get that first stimulus check. That's gone. They're doing things fast this time. The routing time has been confirmed by Steve Mnuchin, the Treasury Secretary, whose department actually sends you the check, so he would know. 10 days from the date it becomes law, but I'm telling you to add 3 more days for bank processing time. Some banks will do it the same day. Some are a little bit longer, 3 days. So 10 days from the day it becomes law. Well, then when can it become law? It could literally become law this week if the parties get their acts together. I almost used a different word. What's going on? So it only takes a vote of the Senate one day and a vote of the House another day, and then a signature of the president, which could be the same day. It could be done in 2 days, the act of law. All they are waiting upon is 2 people, Steve and Nancy, to get in the room and braid each other's hair and carry one over the threshold. Maybe Nancy should carry Steve and get it done. And what's holding the package up is a big bailout of states valued at $1 trillion. But what's also holding it up, and I have the breaking news for you right now, is a real bad, pig-headed, not well-liked person in the room by the name of Mark Meadows. Nancy doesn't want to talk to him. He doesn't want to talk to Nancy. He doesn't want to meet. There are a lot of comments in the videos today about allegations that Mark Meadows says he's not available for an entire week. If he really said that, which I still can't confirm myself, he should not be in public service. There's a pandemic going on, and you're just disappearing for an entire week. I can't confirm that's true, but that's incredulous. Steve and Nancy want to do a deal, but the big, great news was what we started off today with and what we're ending with today with. It's, pull up that Kentucky, go to the case and get that bourbon out, that Kentucky bourbon or Kentucky whiskey, because we're all going to salute. I told you this was going to happen. It's happening. I don't care if they hired them from Central Casting, and brought them in, but the protesters are there. We knew that the protesters were going to hit Mitch McConnell. We knew this several weeks ago, and they're finally hitting the person who needs to get this moving. Mitch McConnell. Mitch, don't come to me with a stimulus package. Mitch, it's dead upon arrival. Mitch, I'm not giving Americans a single penny. Who now is suddenly becoming the Price is Right spokesperson for the second stimulus package. He's like, let's get it approved. We have to get it approved. These were his exact words on Fox Morning News this morning. He said that the second stimulus package needs to get approved now. Yeah, Mitch. So it's in the morning, so he clearly was not drinking yet. He said the second stimulus package has to get approved now. It needs to get done now. The negotiations are ridiculous, and they need to get done now. Now, there's two things that are really great news in what he's saying. One, that he wants to get it done now. More about that in a second. But two, he's saying the negotiations are ridiculous. Guess who is causing the ridiculousness of the negotiations more than anyone else? His name is Mark Meadows. The guy who refused to negotiate last week and walked out of the negotiation room. It was very well documented. The guy who kicked furniture, even though he later denied he ever did anything. The guy who allegedly, who we all know, as a matter of fact, is not disputed, did not get you the first stimulus package. He was not in the Trump administration when the first stimulus package was approved. This is a guy who has lobbied to be Trump's cabinet member for several years. He's not particularly well liked among Republicans because he does not have a lot of background with doing certain things and has this sort of career aspirations. Steve Mnuchin and Nancy Pelosi like each other. They don't always agree upon things financially, but they really do admire one another. Everyone likes Steve Mnuchin. Generally, I like him. People just like certain people. People don't like Mark Meadows. They just don't like him. And he is really the person in the room that's causing a lot of friction, not wanting people to sit in the room. And his guidance has been fiscal conservativeness, which means not to give out money, not to give out checks, to be miserly with money when the entire country is about to implode. So, what's going on? Well, if you didn't turn on the news, there were protesters outside Mitch's office, shouting, "Give me my money. Give me my money, Mitch. Where's my money, Mitch?" I could have not hired better Central Casting actors to do it for myself off of Craigslist, but we know who else does that instead. It is really incredible. Moreover, the day started with interviews in Kentucky by citizens who said they are absolutely on their wits' end. They want Mitch's head. They say the $600 is needed right now. They went back to Mitch to try to get a comment, local news and national news. He refused to give a comment and ran the prior comment where he says, "I don't give $600 because it's getting people rich." Then local people said, "Trust me, we're not getting rich on $600, and we literally need that for life support to exist." So the great news is that the pressure on the most important person in this negotiations, who's actually not in the room, wants the negotiations to go. The other thing that's fascinating is that Congressional leaders now want Congress to negotiate the second stimulus package. They don't want the Trump administration cabinet members negotiate it. Mitt Romney, Marco Rubio, all these congressional leaders are calling for Congress to get this done. And they think that appointing Mark Meadows to sit in the room has been a bad idea. Mitt Romney today called out the entire process and said the parties need to get to an agreement right away today. Another Trump cabinet member, actually, Pete Navarro, 2 days ago said this has to be settled right now. And there were other calls from both Republicans and Democrats, including Marco Rubio, says we can't go an entire other week without a deal signed. It's not going to work. First, there's a political issue. None of these politicians are going to be reelected if they go back to their home state to campaign in September with no deal impact. So for people to say there's going to be a vote in September, no, the vote has to happen now. Two, the next thing is that the situation is too dire to wait to have the second stimulus package go on any longer. Third, the states are now getting involved, and this is what's really great news. The states are saying, hey, listen here, we need money. We need money right now, and we need that money immediately because we are on the brink of bankruptcy. A lot of states are actually irate at the Trump administration today because of that attempt to get states to pay for FPUC, which now the Trump administration admits it was a mistake. If you missed the start of today and yesterday, Larry Kudlow appeared on news and said, you know what, I'm changing FPUC. The states didn't want to pay any money for FPUC under that executive order, so now we're just going to change the executive order again. And it's going to be $400, instead of $400 a week, it's going to be $300 a week. Well, that's just not good press because no one wants to survive or can survive on $300 a week. Now, in a day that had so much craziness, literally craziness going on left and right, as you know you have an agreement for your second stimulus check, you know it's coming to you, you're just wondering why is it being stranglehold by all this other mess. Viewers dropped in the comments overwhelmingly that they think the stimulus check should have come as a separate bill. They really just don't grasp why politicians are strangleholding a check that was part of an original package to send out multiple checks. Now a measly, as some viewers say, measly $1,200 check is being stranglehold by all this other political corruption or political pork or whatever you want to say. And it's not looking good for either political party. The big rub and the big shocker is FPUC. And this is really great news. If you didn't watch our video earlier today, states are now saying what I told you to get ready for several weeks ago. You're getting $600 a week through the month of July. What? Let me explain the great news to you. Several weeks ago, I told you that FPUC is expiring. The most important thing I try to have you focus on is when you have things to get them and when they have things expiring, not to allow them to expire. I said to get on UI and get on PUA right away in the month of July before it expires because you'll get the benefits of that program then. That program was created by the first stimulus package, the CARES Act. Well, guess what? Everything I told you was now confirmed today. States are now saying that if you are already on UI or PUA benefits, or just newly applied for them but have a date of certification date of eligibility back to, March or whatever, all the way through July, they will pay you the $600 a week, even if your application is just processing now in the month of August. Yes. Let me explain to you how this works. States are now confirming that there's thousands, tens of thousands of, even if not hundreds of thousands of people who have pending UI or PUA applications for eligibility. They're not even yet determined as eligible, but they're pending for eligibility now sitting in August. But they did what I and other people were advising them to do. Get those applications on file before the end of July. Get them on file in early July, mid-July. Well, guess what now states are saying? They're saying clearly on the way that the CARES Act is written, that once we approve these applications, whether we get to them in September or we get them to in August, once we approve them, we're going to, and the federal government is going to pay them $600 a week from whatever week they start the benefits eligibility window at, which in some cases could be March, all the way up to their last eligibility week under that first package, which is late July. So you could have applied in early July and be sitting here in mid to late August and suddenly get, hey, an alert, your application has been approved. You had put a date of March all the way to, your date of March as your date of impact of COVID-19, and bam, guess what you're going to get? Get ready for the pen and paper. If it's California and your base level benefits is 169, you're going to get 169 plus $600 a week for March. This is if your date of impact was March, April, May, June, July. 5 months times 4 weeks, that's 20 weeks. 20 times 167 plus 600, 700 something, $800 something times 20 weeks. I don't need to do the math for you. That's a fortune. That's absolutely a fortune. That's why it's so important to do things when they come. It's also important to stay with me for everything else that's erupting. There's hazard pay that's erupting. There is rent grant, which really sort of got strange today. Rent grant is that program under the second stimulus check where you can apply for grant money. It comes to you to pay off your rent bills if you can't make the payments. As you sit here tonight, it's so important to pull out a pen and paper and write these things down, because I love how viewers are asking, can I get this? Because it's so important to understand that just a stimulus check is not the only thing you are eligible for. Additionally, I want to make very clear, the stimulus check does not conflict with anything else that I'm indicating to you. So you can get the stimulus check and all these other things. All right, get ready? All right, here you go. Stimulus check you can get. Hazard pay you can get if you worked as essential workers, up to $10,000 if you made less than $100,000 last year. $10,000. This is per individual. All these numbers are per individual. FPUC. If you applied for FPUC earlier during the prior eligibility window, you will get your base level benefits, whatever your base level benefits are of your state. If you apply for UI or PUA in the first time frame, you get your base level benefits of your states, which are generally about $100, $200 a week, plus $600 a week from that date all the way up to mid-July. Going forward, we'll see what happens. I think that the Mnuchin and Nancy are going to agree upon $400, $600 a week, $600 a week, pure number all the way to December 31st. That you're going to get that retroactive, so that's a lot of money. Next, rent assistance. If the stimulus package survives with rent assistance, which Nancy says she's going to the mat for, you can apply for rent grants, for free rent money. If you're impacted by COVID-19, you can't make rent. Now, generally, it may be tied to your income level, so rich people can just say, hey, give me some free grant money. But free rent money. Next, there is still the likelihood that EIDL could come back in another form. There is a push to bring EIDL, which is run by SBA, back in another form. It's currently in the form of a loan. So if you worked in any capacity as an independent contractor, whether you're an Uber or Lyft driver, anything that appears on a Schedule C, I don't care what it is, hairdressers, Schedule C, you have to have some verification of your business and income in 2019 or 2020. You can get up to a $150,000 loan right now, but you may also get an EIDL grant if they bring it back, because there's a push to bring it back. Last, PPP. Same thing as small business, also PPP. There's an agreement, according to Mnuchin, to put PPP back into the second stimulus package. Another round. Doesn't mean you had to have been on it before. You can get it again. So 6 different things of money. Earlier today, I also mentioned as well, I don't drop this as well, I forgot to reference it. There's a grant program for citizens of Colorado that went live today. I was informed by that by someone in the private. So I'm here to ensure you get money from all different mechanisms. The second stimulus package has a lot of funding, revenue streams potentially for you besides just the stimulus check. So things are going to happen very fast and very well. And that's why I'm here to help you. If you are one of those people that wants to sit back and say, my sister's brother's uncle's nephew told me there's nothing happening till September, good. Believe that because it's wrong. You need to stay with me, and that's why you have to go to the front of this channel. There's a subscribe button. Hit that subscribe button so you get an alert every time a new video goes live. There's also an alert button next to it. It's like a bell. Hit that as well. Earlier today, I asked people if you're not getting alert, if you are a subscriber and you're not getting alerts about videos, drop it in the comments below, and a lot of people have. So at the start of the comments of this video, I'm going to put a 3-step thing that you need to check. The first is you need to check that you're subscribed. You need to check that you've hit that bell. And then the third one is a link to a YouTube description that explains to turn notifications on public. If you do, you'll see a little bell next to your name. If you already have a bell next to your name, you've done everything right. Coming up next is EIDL. A great day, a lot of great comments, a lot of great love. Stay motivated, stay positive, stay inspired.